And I wrote that I was worried that I would take my foot off the pedal and I would start rolling backwards. So this go, get, stay focused, stay there, is bound to get us the opposite of what we set out to do initially in pursuing the passion. So what do we learn from that?
So there is an abundance of research saying that passion occupations or mission-driven occupations are at higher risk of burnout. The ones who really feel excited about what they're doing. We think of burnout, for instance, often in terms of, you're forced to work a job that you don't want, and it's you have an evil boss, and you're working long hours, and it's really, really hard. In reality, a lot of the people that burn out are actually what you would consider high performers. They're individuals that are actually really good at their job. They probably really love their job. They're passionate about what they're doing. They have a purpose in what they're doing, which means that it becomes easier for them to deprioritize the breaks. There is a 12-step pathway to burnout, and one of those steps is actually reevaluating your values. You will reconsider your values. If before you said, for instance, my family is very important to me, I want to make sure, and that translates into me, having dinner with my family every night or whatever it is. You start reevaluating your values, and suddenly it's not that important for me to have dinner with it's enough to have dinner with them once a week, maybe once a month. And you start slipping and slipping and slipping because you're so passionate about what you're doing. You get caught up in what we would call a mission mode or an execution mode, where you just keep on doing more and more, which means that in effect, we actually become less able to prioritize because our cognitive capacities are depleted, and it becomes a little bit of a vicious cycle where we just end up doing more until we break, until our bodies, which probably have been trying to tell us all along, you're going too fast. I don't know how it was for you, but I've also gone through burnout, and for me, definitely my body and my mind tried to tell me long before I actually crashed that you're going too fast. You need to take a break. You need to slow down. If you want to keep on doing what you're doing, if you want to keep on doing what you love, you need to take a break and you need to start looking after yourself. But I wasn't listening, because one of the other things that puts us often at risk is, we do have this ability to focus. And especially if we're really excited about what we do, we tend to block out all the warning signals, be it, physical, like headaches or stomach aches, emotional. You might become more I become more irritable. I do admit that. I snap more easily. Yeah, exactly. I snap more easily. I just become not the nicest colleague to work with, or definitely not the nicest, family member. It can also be, cognitive. So, like I said, one of the things that suffers the first is actually our ability to make decisions, to prioritize, which leads to that vicious circles. Because if you can't prioritize, you just end up doing everything, right? And yeah, it can be any one of these sort of like physical, emotional, cognitive, behavioral even. So a lot of people just fall back into binge eating or smoking or watching Netflix for endless hours, because it's sort of like the habits that keep us afloat in difficult situations, and we just fall back on them when things get hard. So all of those can be kind of, every one of us has a unique set of symptoms, but all of those are kind of like early warning signals that we should pay attention to.
So tuning in is very important, as we all know, but don't know how to do that. Awareness is 3/4 of the problem, and we all know that. Now, let's say that you have tuned in, you realize, like you did, like I did, you sense it, you're going there, you know that it is right in front of you. Now, how do you go from wanting to change to actually changing the path that you're on?